Hey, it's your girl Wildflower of UGS Music, and today we're going to do something a little different. So, first, we're going to start off with our What Happened To segment, and then I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about Diddy's album and my introduction to Rod Wave. Okay, so first, what happened to with Kid Poetry?
What's good, UGS? What's happening, Wildflower? Everybody out there listening, it is your boy again, your favorite hip hop historian, Kid Poetry. If you ain't know, it's me, and we are back again for another very special What Happened To. And today on What Happened To, we're gonna give you something a little different. You know, most of the time when I do these, I give y'all a lot of, you know what I mean? I give y'all a lot of history. Most of the history seems to primarily come from his story, right? You know what I mean? But what about her story? And today, I'm gonna give y'all a special piece. We ain't gonna take it too far back, but you know what I mean? Somebody that gave us some lit times, you know what I mean? Let us know that nobody had the swagger like she had it. You know what I mean? She was flying with the paper planes, and today, what the hell happened to M.I.A? Alright, so for those of you who may not know who M.I.A is, think back to '07. Hopefully only I was born by then. But '07, man, she came out with a super fire song. Everybody should already know. I fly like paper, getting high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. Come on, man. I ain't even gotta do the whole thing. You know what I mean? She had one of the most fire joints. She came out of the UK when we had a couple people like her and Estelle. You know what I mean? Black people coming out of the UK, which was something that us, especially me, people from the South, we had never seen before. We didn't even know that there was black people over there in the UK. But like many a case, black people got to the UK for a certain reason. Her growing up, Matangi, a rural Pergasm. She was born in London, and at a very young age, her and her family moved to Sri Lanka. And while she was a child, she experienced the Sri Lankan Civil War, which obviously affected her and her family there. I mean, they became refugees. They had to move back to London, where she got her start in music. I mean, she's a fashionista. She was making short films and different things like that, director. I mean, she was doing amazing things, and that's when we found out who she was, after her second album had come out. And once that album came out, I mean, she became one of the most popping things in America. I mean, Slumdog Millionaire, which was a huge film. She had a Grammy nominee for that. She won MTV Awards, ASCAP Awards. I'm talking about, she was nominated for multiple Grammys at the same time. So honestly, with all of these good things that were happening despite her rough upbringing, what the hell happened to M.I.A? Why don't we hear more about her now? I mean, she was so fire. She was mixing elements of dance music, hip hop, pop music, all different kinds of shit that are booming today. World music is at a precipice in this time. So the real question is, what the hell happened within her career where she is not at the top of this thing where she really should be? Well, first, let's get into the kind of music that she makes. I mean, shit. As I expressed before, she is a baby of revolution. She's a product of revolution. I mean, it's inside of her blood. I mean, her father was inside of the revolution, and shit, naturally, you carry your father's blood. You carry your father's fire. So that shit was inside of her, and always throughout her music, if you pay attention, she has been dropping seeds of revolution. She's been dropping seeds of her past, of the things that she's endured, and goddamn it, she's not standing up for the bullshit. She's not standing up for any of the wrongdoings that affect her and her people, and I stand by that, because many a time in my music I do the same damn thing. I stand up for our people even in times where we won't stand up for ourselves. And realistically, that's what really affected her career. Throughout the years, she's had so many different times where she's been questioned about her own life experiences in interviews and different things of that nature, where they've brought up her speaking on her own experience, speaking on the life that she had to endure. I mean, at 10 years old, she spoke about her school getting bombed during the Civil War, her school getting bombed. Can you imagine that? In Black history, we think back to our civil rights movement. We think of those things that happened to us. We can think of black babies being bombed and stuff as well. And that speaks volumes to the way that we react and we deal with the world around us today. So when she did the same thing, just because she wasn't from America, it was portrayed differently. She was called a terrorist sympathizer. She was told that she wasn't able to be in the country and whatnot. She received death threats. So many different things was thrown at her. On top of that, let's go back to a couple years ago when she went on the Super Bowl with Beyonce. When she went to the Super Bowl with Beyonce and she was up there, it was a glorious moment. You know what I mean? We hadn't seen M.I.A. in years, or in the mainstream media in America, we hadn't seen M.I.A. in years. So it was really good to see her. And what got her caught up? A fucking middle finger. And excuse my words, but a middle finger? For real? They said over 200 people called in. You gotta think about how many millions of people are watching the Super Bowl, but a measly 200 people called in, and they said that she owed them $16 million. The NFL fined her $16 million, and of course, you know, she can never get on there. I mean, we got Janet Jackson, you know, the whole situation. This is the least of the NFL's problems, but they wanted to use that as a reason to not give that sister a platform and an opportunity again, which honestly, she doesn't need the NFL. The NFL needs these artists as well to bring in a totally different demographic than what they normally would throughout the year. So I stand up with her. Shit, fuck that. More middle fingers, man. It's in the face of all of the bullshit. All of the bullshit, all of the fake outrage that we receive. She's talking about real things that happen. She spoke out about plenty of real things that happen. She's spoken out about the injustices that happen to black people in America. She's spoken about some of the injustices in things regarding the vaccinations and other things. And honestly, those are the problems. If we want to talk about the problems, the reasons why she is not successful in mainstream music today, because mainstream music is weak. I would just say it. It's weak. Niggas don't stand for nothing. Niggas don't stand behind anything. And if you do, it gotta be major money behind you. People not gonna stand up if they feel like, oh, somebody can take my food, take the things away from me, when you're the artist. We're the artists. You're always gonna have a voice. And if you make something that is creative and passionate and beautiful, somebody is gonna be out there, somebody is gonna receive it, somebody's gonna support that. But the fact of the matter is, so many people are afraid of their own voice and afraid of having to stand out or stand against something that may seem like it's bigger or stronger or got more money than you. Nigga, fuck that money. So I commend the sister for doing everything that she has done. Now, mind you, she said some things that have rattled some people. She even came against the Black Lives Matter movement, and I understand what she was saying when she spoke against the Black Lives Matter movement. And for those of you who may not have heard what she said, she spoke, and I'm gonna paraphrase. Basically, she asked, why isn't Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar speaking up about the injustices and things that happen in Sri Lanka or happen in the Middle East or happen in other places around the world that don't involve American lives, that don't involve the people that you see or witness every day, but they're saying that these atrocities are happening. And was she saying that they aren't able to speak about it? In a way, yes. She's not saying that they don't make the avid choice not to, but the fact of the matter is, the powers that be, the people that control their paychecks and control how fast their music comes out and what spot they end up on the Billboard Hot 100 and whatnot, because it's a whole payola game. It is not just by happenstance or how great you are. So when these things are controlling and backing the actual voice that you have, how much are you going to speak on? How many times are you going to lay your neck on the line to be cut? And don't get me wrong, she spoke about the people that you may expect to do so. So all in all, I understand her compassion. I understand that sometimes saying the truth or saying things that they don't want you to say to cause questioning, to cause uprising, to cause a difference of opinion can sometimes be looked at as brash, can sometimes be looked at as things that they just want to push to the side. Even the everyday people may want to push to the side because they feel like these things may be too hard for us to combat. But honestly, we need artists like this. We need people like this to speak up, to have that voice, so that they can inspire the next person. Younger people who may not be afraid the same way she wasn't afraid. The same way she had to endure, the same way we have to endure things day in and day out. So that we can prepare the next for a world that may be even harsher than the ones that we've had to endure. So, what happened to M.I.A? She stood the fuck up. In a world that does not want to see you stand. She continues to stand. She continues to make music. She continues to do her thing. She has a beautiful child. And my sister, if you keep doing your thing, I will keep supporting. We have all the albums here listed below. Go and check out M.I.A today. And this has been another What Happened to Me. Peace.
And we're back. So, you know that Diddy just dropped an album and he's really good at marketing and putting the money and pushing his own stuff. He dropped the Love album this month and every song on it has a feature. What exactly is wrong with that? Well, that's whack to me. Maybe it's that not many of us are left that actually aren't interested in what he has to say in music anymore. So it's giving very much pack the album with features so we can benefit off of their supporters. That's my assumption. What he needs to do is put some of that money behind some artist development for Christian King Combs can have his own musical identity. Look at me saying what someone who's already a millionaire should do. Ha! But on a serious note, I played the album and it's not bad. I feel like there's a few songs that don't even have a Diddy verse on it, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If you listen to this 27 song conveyor belt hip hop album. But I don't know why I feel like Diddy makes music for aunties. Maybe it's his age. No shade cause he looks great, but I'm off this. So the next album, Nostalgia, is my introduction to Rod Wave. I've been hearing the name for a long time, but what inclined me to listen to this album is the same comments that I've been seeing for years, like this. Now I'm trying to be unbiased, but in Come See Me, he says, "Last night I got so high I almost jumped out of the window." Now I know someone who wanted to do that, but they weren't depressed, just high off acid. But let's move on. So the next song is called Crazy and it starts off slow. I was about to skip it, but then I heard the first line, which is a Paramore line. He actually says, he starts off the song saying, Ain't it fun living in the real world? And that's the chorus. So I love the blend of genres on this one, and that's a notable thing, being that this is my introduction to this artist. The next few songs, songs 7 through I think like 9, all sounded slow, so I skipped through them until I heard something that sounded not slow. That led me to a song titled Turks and Caicos, which is a song about women, like women in general, beautiful women all around the world. 21 Savage has a cute little verse in there as well. And this song actually samples Jay-Z's Girls, 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 and it's a very nice new age version of that song. But after this song, it did get slow and sad again, so I skipped down to a song titled Rap Beef because I figured that would provide me some sort of energy on this album. Even that song was slow. I mean, not sad, more aggressive lyrics, so not sad, but not at the tempo that I was hoping for. Backlit is a song where he seems to finally be popping his shit. I really like this one. He's even talking about getting out your feelings and into your bag. He's seemingly been in his feelings, but also in his bag, right? And that was actually the last song. So what I feel about Rod Wave is that he makes heartfelt music. People joke about it being depressing, and maybe it is. You know, this is, remember, my first album, so maybe music before this one was like super, you know, even more what they were talking about, I wouldn't know. But judging off this album, Nostalgia is giving heartfelt. You know, I'm not getting so much depression. If I would allow myself to be biased, yes, I could go ahead and say, oh, this album is depressing, but just this being my first listen, I get heartfelt and real. And maybe that's because this is the first album that I listened to. You know, maybe that if this was the third or however many projects he has out, maybe if I was listening to Rod Wave before, I would at this point feel that it's depressive. So maybe that's why everybody keeps saying that, because they definitely know his music more than I do. Also, I also expected more rapping, but this man is not even a rapper. Again, my introduction to this artist. He be singing, and he doesn't have a super strong voice, but it is a good voice. I can definitely see why people listen to him, and here's a couple songs that I downloaded. So it's not for me, but I'm not mad at him because his music is not BS. There's a lot of BS out here, and Rod Wave's album is not it. Whether I'm gonna bump it or not, it's substantial, heartfelt music, in my opinion. Now, that is all I have for this episode, okay? Let me know if you like the new order better than the old one. Let me know what you think about Rod Wave and his new album, what you think about Diddy and everything like that, what you think about Kid Poetry's What Happened To segment. Let us all know in the comments. We love it. We love to read the things y'all leave and the support. So thank you for that, and thank you for watching, and make sure you tune in next week for some more music content, and make sure you subscribe to this channel for more music content. And the very last thing, I dropped a Doja Cat album review that you guys need to check out, okay? So again, thanks for all the support, and we will see you next time.